This is your Barbados Today morning news update for Wednesday, November the 7th. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. Topping the news at this hour, Grenada and Antigua and Barbuda have rejected the Caribbean Court of Justice as their final court of appeal. We'll have the details of those two referenda held yesterday in our regional segment. But here at home, police are investigating a bottle-throwing incident that occurred in the New River Bus Terminal last evening, in which 2 people were injured. Acting Police Public Relations Officer Station Sergeant Michael Blackman said 17-year-old Tiana Gittins of Jackman St. Michael was struck in the face with a bottle, and Stefan Chandler sustained a laceration to the side of his head and an abrasion to his right knee. Both victims were taken to hospital by ambulance. The private entity representing thousands of former CLECO policyholders has requested an urgent meeting with Prime Minister Mia Mottley to address fears that many more of its members may die without receiving 1 red cent of their savings if government's recent bond exchange offer is applied to their investment. President of the Barbados Investors and Policyholders Alliance, June Fowler, said Tuesday her organization is extremely unhappy with the slow progress on discussions between the Ministry of Finance and Resolution Life, that's the company that replaced the collapsed CLECO, regarding the possible changes to the investment instruments issued to New Life Investment Company Limited by a Supreme Court order earlier this year.
The AFPA policyholders' payments should have started their 10-year payout period on July 31st, 2018. And many who are in their 70s, 80s, and 90s have now been suspended indefinitely, and this is very vexing to people. These are policyholders who have been waiting for 10 years for their money, and after having been told that they have to wait for an additional 10 years, now there's a possibility with the restructuring program that 5 additional years are going to be added. We need to get clarification on that, or we need to find out if there's an additional 15 years. So these are some of the things that we need to get clarity on from the Prime Minister.
Minister of Housing and Lands and Rural Development George Payne has refuted claims by opposition leader Joseph Atherley that the price of land in Barbados has increased due to the upsurge in interest by foreign entities. Payne also dismissed rumors that those foreigners are also occupying lands which are owned by Barbadians.
You haven't had foreigners coming to Barbados and buying lands in St. George, in St. Thomas, St. Philip, apart from the parts outside of the parts near the beach. So it is wrong. It is a myth. I won't say that that it is. It is not fake news, as people do. What people say these days without calling something a lie. But it is not so. Definitely not so.
Residents in some parts of St. Lucie and St. Peter are praying for the day when they can see clean, clear water coming from their taps. For several months now, some residents in the 2 parishes have been putting up with discolored water running through their pipes, thus making it difficult for them to use it. The Barbados Water Authority has said that efforts are underway to correct the problem. But 65-year-old Corinne Armstrong of Checker Hall, St. Lucie, says she has had enough.
Something be very difficult when you got one like that there, so especially you got cook. I have my white clothes to wash as a church and my captain. I had to get water on the rainfall. I had to put buckets to catch with water. I can wash my white clothes with. Because if I put them in that water, you know how it is. They spoil. So I just have to wait till the rainfall and get some more of them buckets and wash my white clothes. Which is very harsh at times. You understand? Because you know what you want to, you can be again with the sweat and whatnot. It's very inconvenient. So I hope and pray that someday will be done to help us with this water. Because you gotta drink it, someday you have to buy water all the time, you know. You understand what I'm saying?
So you boil it to use it, to drink?
You boil it to drink it, and sometimes you boil it, it's still rusty.
Barbados Today understands that Half Moon Fort Primary School in Clinkets, St. Lucie, is also being affected to the point that the pipes have had to be flushed numerous times during the school term.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust. Welcome back with news from the region now. Grenada's second attempt at acceding to the Caribbean Court of Justice has failed. Approximately 22,000 people, over a quarter of the electorate, voted against making the CCJ Grenada's final court of appeal. At the end of the preliminary count, 9,846 voted in favor and 12,133 against. In Antigua and Barbuda, which also needed a two-thirds majority, 52.04% or 9,234 of the voters said no to the CCJ's appellate jurisdiction, while 47.96% or 8,509 voters said yes. Pollster and political scientist Peter Wickham, who was part of a panel discussion on Antigua and Barbuda radio and television last night, described the outcome as an unfortunate one for both countries.
I'm not Antiguan, but I'm disappointed. And I'm disappointed for Antigua and for the rest of the Caribbean. I think this is an unfortunate result. Equally so because the same thing was replicated in Grenada. And I really do hope that in the future we can get back on track. But the say is that I'm disappointed, and I mourn along with Dr. Knight in a way that's real, because I think this was an opportunity for Antigua to have created history and to set a course, complete a circle of development, and ultimately the population said no. But it's a democracy and we have to respect these institutions, and I think that there has to be a way that we can find to work with this process, to bring about the necessary result. But it is disappointing in the meantime, and I can't hide my disappointment.
And on the international scene, Americans voted in crucial midterm elections last night, and the latest indications up to the time of this newscast were that the House of Congress was leaning towards the Democrats, who were winning what they needed to. But according to some forecasters, the Republicans were likely to take control of the Senate. However, as I speak, there would obviously be new developments. And that's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. Now, you can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic day.